how do the line... Good morning, this is Lynx. Here's something I want you guys to consider for the weekend. Anywhere you live, you will find that there are lines dividing the space in which you live. For example, in California here, we are currently driving through Vacaville, and we were just talking about the limits that exist only in our own minds. There is Napa County, there is Sonoma County, there is Yolo County, there's Marin County, and depending upon who you talk to here, who lives in what area, this county is better, that county is better. But if you're not thinking about when you're driving from one county to another, one city from another, like for example, I'm driving through Vacaville now, and then later I will be driving through Napa, and then we'll be driving through Santa Rosa. Each area may have a certain neighborhood charm to it, which I greatly appreciate. But when you drive, you see that the landscape doesn't change much. It's the same kind of foliage, it's the same kind of roads, it's the same kind of, usually the same kinds of restaurants. We think that there's a difference between this place, that place, that place. This county is different from that county, is different from that county. And if you talk to anyone who lives there, they'll go, well, where do you live? Oh, you live there in that county? And then they'll give you their impressions of this county, that county, that county. There's no such thing. These counties, these cities, these places that we think are different, those lines that make up those different places, they are all in our minds. We make up those differences in our minds. Now, if you think about that, the next time you go from this city to that city to that city, and if you really think that, wait a minute, the only difference here is what's going on in my mind saying that, well, this town's different from that town's different from that state, that country, for those of you who are in Europe or the rest of the world. Sometimes there's language differences, but still, the differences, the lines that we make are all in our own mind. And we do that in our life every single day, in every way. We say, this is different from that, it's different from that, it's different from that. And there's a great many people who think, well, this person is like this, or that person's like that, or I have to define myself this way, I have to define myself that way, I have to define myself that way. And those things are creating a great deal of problems right now for people, and they're being used against us. The lines, the demarcations, the way that we define ourselves, the differences are what's being used to divide us and turn us against each other right now. The lines are only in our mind. The differences are only in our mind. The stuff that happens to us as human beings, the stuff that happens inside of us, the stuff that happens with our feelings, the stuff that happens with our hearts, the stuff that happens with our emotions, there's the stuff that we all go through, and they're the same things. And in Tibetan Bon, we're very cognizant of the fact that it's the same garbage, the same junk that keeps us stuck to suffering. Those divisions that we make in our minds. So as you go through this weekend, and you look at those things that you want, those things that you don't want, those things that you like, those things that you hate, ask yourself where the division really is. Is there an actual division? Is there an actual line? Or are we really seeing the same thing, but the lines are only in our minds? I'm Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Hey, if you guys would like to get a reading from me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. And one of the things when you do readings, you start to see the same things happening to people. Different people, different walks of life. The same thing happens to all of them. And divination really helps you to see that. So if you'd like to take a divination class from me, I have a basic tarot class. I have an intermediate to advanced tarot class. I have one in playing cards, how to read and divine with playing cards, which is really amazing. It's quite an interesting divinatory system. I have one on how to read Mexican Loteria. I have one in basic Lenormand. I have one in advanced Grand Tableau Lenormand. And I think crystal ball reading. If you'd like to take any of those classes, contact me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. And for those of you who've donated, thank you for donating. I really appreciate it. And if you like these videos and they give you something to think about and you would like to donate, I'm going to put my PayPal, my Venmo below. Remember, as you go through this weekend, the lines that divide us, that divide where we are, that divide our experience,